Jade Amethyst, and welcome to Jaded with Jade Amethyst. I am so glad that you can be here. This is the very first video podcast for YouTube, and if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Music or any other place that airs my podcast, I welcome you. And what we're going to talk about today is my diagnosis is ADHD. I got diagnosed at a later age. I am 43. I got diagnosed last year at 42. And also I'm going to talk about it's not too late to get diagnosed at a later age. And also I'm going to share what copes and strategies, what I have done to cope with this, and how to and how I incorporate ADHD into my daily living. But I'm going to talk more about unmasking first, and how I knew I had ADHD, and also if you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on Spotify or Apple Music, feel free to leave a review on there as well. So before I delve in to my personal story, so I'm gonna just let you talk about understanding what ADHD and unmasking is. ADHD unmasking refers to the process of discovering, understanding, and embracing one's ADHD diagnosis later in life. For many, including myself, it often comes after years of struggling, feeling misunderstood, experiencing various challenges. And that's how I felt before my diagnosis. I felt like I was misunderstood. I had trouble carrying a conversation. I felt like I always whenever I heard stuff, it was always misinterpreted, and people would get really either frustrated with me, or they was just wouldn't talk to me at all. So it was really hard for me to keep a circle around. And so when I got diagnosed, it was just a clear understanding, and also it helps me to educate myself on how to face those challenges. And so the diagnosis was both when I first got diagnosed, even though it was overwhelming, I was actually talking about it with my therapist, and he actually said it in the most respectful way, that because throughout my life I thought I was the dumbest person ever. I was the dumbest person in the world, and I've had people around me made me feel dumb. And I even was ridiculed. I was severely bullied, where to the point I had no self-worth. And it just put me in a really dark place, where I was trying to please everyone, which I'm going to talk about in a later episode, about pleasing people, which is not the best thing in the world. And so I'm going to start back when I was a child. I always felt different, and I really did. I always felt different. I was really hyper. I had much more of I just felt like I had much more of imagination than most of the kids did, because I always really had imaginations. I always dreamed in color, and I always loved rainbows and really bright stuff. And even though it was overwhelming, but it just kept me calm. And also music also kept me calm too. My mom would always play music whenever I was acting really hyper, and it would just really calm me down. And finally understanding I struggled in certain areas, but it's also brought a mixture of emotions, including fear, judgment, and self-doubt, which I really struggled. I always struggled with self-doubt, whenever I made a mistake or did something, like I was really, really, really harsh on myself whenever I made a mistake before like my diagnosis. And so what I was doing that I realized I was doing was unmasking and was masking. I was masking a lot because, and uh, when I know I just like feel like every time I said like my diagnosis, you guys just like take a shot and see. Your prize will probably like get pretty much smashed by the end of this episode. Just kidding. So so when I was the essential, it was like something that I was unconsciously doing was like masking. I would like mimic things like on TV, what people are saying, like laughs. I would just like pretend like everything was like okay. I didn't have a problem. Like I said, oh, it's just me. Like I um um didn't see ADHD as a problem because also at the time it was mostly um, young boys or men get diagnosed with ADHD, and now like a lot of like young girls and women are getting diagnosed with ADHD, and I see like a lot of them are like bringing awareness to women being diagnosed with ADHD. One of the people who I follow, actually, a couple people who I follow are, she is um, a content creator that is based in the UK. Her name is Ellie Militant. And then I absolutely love her content. She has ADHD and also she is on the spectrum. And another person who I also follow is their name is Sunny Jane Wise, who is based in Australia, and they created this DBT workbook for neurodivergence, which I can't stress enough on how I love that book. And I actually am using it with my clients at work. And also, I actually shared it with my therapist who's sharing it with his other clients. And I've been using it myself. And it's just been just the most like helpful tool. And I will link the information down below. Like, it's not that expensive. Like, the workbook is only like $16. You can just like get it off of Amazon. And so I like highly recommend getting that book because also it teaches like DBT skills as well, because that is like also part of having ADHD. And it is definitely like definitely working on like a lot of like DBT skills, because it's like dialectical behavioral therapy, and it works more like on your behaviors and emotional, and how to emotional like regulate yourself. And that like the intertwined with ADHD, it oh my god, I just like don't have the words for it. It is just like amazing. And um so as I was like figuring out like what was like wrong with me like through adolescence and teens, like I find myself like just being hyper. It's just like it just like felt like you're naturally like on sugar all the time. Like even though like you didn't have sugar, like you're naturally like on caffeine, and then like once you get tired, like you pretty much like crash. And then like once you crash, like you get this like ADHD like burnout. And as I noticed that all the stuff that's happened to me, I thought it was just like prior, like I got diagnosed with PTSD in my mid 20s. And um and and I thought it was like most of the stuff, that all my habits, I thought it was like coming like from PTSD, which it was which part of it was, but part of it like wasn't. And so I also noticed like when I had ADHD, like when I was like at school, like as you see right now, like I am fidgeting. Like I had to have something in my hand. Like I always have my phone. I recently got myself some fidget spinners, like these ring fidget spinners, which if you look on my TikTok, the Jade Amethyst, um I did show them. And so um and um so yeah, so I just like found myself fidgeting, and at work like I couldn't sit more than 5 minutes. Like I was always up bouncing around, and I swear like it annoyed everybody, like my coworkers, it annoyed my friends. Like I just like could not sit down. And um and so uh, I, and I thought, okay, maybe that's like part of ADHD. So I went with ADHD like undiagnosed for a good long time, for like a good 4 years, even though I knew I had it. Like I knew I had it, but it was like official. And then and I knew that I was growing up like on the emotional side, that I I was like super sensitive whenever like how people talk to me, like in a tone, not like a mean tone, but like a certain type of tone, which, or if they looked at me, or if they um said something to me, like I would get really sensitive and I would like cry easily. And or I would like shut down and disassociate. And and so and then when I tried to like explain it, well, I didn't know it was wrong. I thought it was just like me at first, like before my diagnosis. Another shot. And and also to let you know, like I am really nervous, as you can see, like because this is like my first time um talking about this, and that's why you see me like moving, fidgeting. And I thought also like talking about this, I thought I would just like be real and honest, um and just like let you know, like this is real, this is like real and raw. Like I didn't want to come on here and just like be fake, and just say, oh my god, it is so amazing like having ADHD, and I now like I fidget, and like I get to like do all this. Like no, that's not me. It's just like this is happening like in real time. Like I am fidgeting, I am nervous, I'm having anxiety right now, because it's like I'm just like figuring out like what to say, which is also another one of my traits. Is it's like you're just figuring out like what to say. And also if I jump from subject to subject, that's also it too. Like and I say a lot because I am nervous, anxiety, and ADHD is definitely not like a really a combination. And so I'm just gonna put this up like raw and out there. And like it may resonate with people, it may not resonate with people, but once I get used to it, I am going to be fine. Maybe because it is my first video podcast for YouTube, and I have not done a video like in ages. I think the last time I did a video was like almost 2 years ago, when I was doing like fashion and beauty. And so and so yeah, so like yeah, I am babbling here. So anyway, so so once I got diagnosed, I um actually felt relieved, because I um knew that there was always something wrong with me. And I found out like, even though like this is a condition, this is a disorder, this is not a disease, this is something that it is in an imbalance in your brain, that you think differently, and also you think it as your superpower. And And I actually love thinking it as my superpower because as like my superpower, like I my one of my superpowers is that I am hyper focused, and once I get into a project, I just like am really focused on it for like a long period of time, and then like once like that is over, like I start to get really upset or I get exhausted that because it's that dopamine that is also like is in the ingredient of being like hyper focused. And another trait is that I am really logical. And when there's a problem occurring with ADHD, I not with ADHD. What am I saying? Like if I have like an issue or something, I I'm really good at like being logical and figuring it out. Like I can either figure it out like in 5 minutes or 5 hours. And I just like I would just like sit, I would just like figure out what the problem is and what causes the problem and the solution to that problem. And so I knew that I had that trait like most of my life until like when I was diagnosed with ADHD. I um and one of it is like being really logical, and I was like, oh my god, that makes perfect sense. That makes totally perfect sense. And so um how so so also like when I got diagnosed with ADHD, like I it just like really came a turning point in my life where I decided to embrace it, educate myself, and had like coping um strategies that worked for me. It wasn't an easy journey, but it was worth every step. And And so I am going to go into more like about like ADHD and masking. So it is like one of my essential tools for me was building up a support network, like surrounding myself with understanding friends and professionals who embrace my journey, and it made a world of difference. So I got support from like my sister, my friends, and also like of course my therapist because he's the one who like talked to me about it, and like now like most of our the sessions I've been having with him lately, we just like talk about like ADHD and what I have learned and like writing stuff down and stuff that like I am picking up like all the way. And one of the things is like forgetfulness, because I do have a lot of trouble with like forgetfulness. And um I would remember like what I'm supposed to do, and once I it's time to do that task, I would forget like 5 minutes later, and then I had to think about, I was like, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? And said, oh yeah, it will come to me within like a few seconds later. And um so so after the ADHD diagnosis, like what I have found was I found that um, establishing routines and set achievable goals has helped me regain a sense of control, learning how to break tasks into smaller, manageable steps, using tools like planners and reminders that allow me to stay organized and focused, which was a really hard thing to do at first because task would get so overwhelming for me. Like if a task is overwhelming, I wouldn't do it, and it will take me weeks to do it. Like I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but over the summer, like I decided to do a room makeover, and it didn't take me until mid-September to finish, and I started in mid-June. So it took me like 3 months to like to finish this task because it was just like so overwhelming because I would take a list down and I would just like break it into parts and start doing a task like for 5 minutes, and then once I did it for 5 minutes, then it broke down to 20 minutes, and so I started like doing that, and it's just like been really helpful because if I go into like a huge task like right away, I would get overwhelmed and I would stop completely and would not want to do the task for like a very long time. And so um like doing it in parts has just been really really helpful. And and taking care of my mental and physical health has also played a significant role in my journey. So, I am establishing a regular exercise in my routine. I don't like going to the gym, so I brought the gym home with me. So, I ordered a treadmill that is sitting out in my living room, and I am like going on it for like at least like 5 minutes a day, and then I stop. So once like I get used to it, I will do it like much longer. And then I do some stretching. So I started doing like the lazy girl stretching. I found this out on YouTube, and where I just like do some stretching on my bed, and I do it like before bed. And so that has also been helping. And also, like, another thing is it's like a well balanced diet. With ADHD, I might go this into a later episode, but I am junk food. Like, I absolutely love junk food, and to the point that I would get sick because junk food felt like dopamine for me. And I'm trying to eat healthy. Like, I actually ate some potatoes the other day, and I had some baby carrots and also a bagel with with garlic cream cheese. That was pretty good. And then also a couple weeks ago, I went to a hometown in my store, and I bought a Cobb salad, which was like so good. It was like so healthy. So I still eat my junk food, but I am starting to go like on a really like healthier kick. And 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 so, and also like a part of like, that's also part of like an masking is just like, start, peeling one by one and just like start being honest with yourself. And it may resonate with some people, it may not resonate with some people. That means like people who really do understand are the ones who are going to support and be there for you, and the ones like who don't understand are not going to be there for you. Like they just like refuse to understand, and there's really nothing that you can do about it. And so it's really good for to be around people who do understand it and who identify as who have ADHD. I actually do have friends who do have ADHD, and then when I told them that I have it, they were so supportive of me, and they just like gave me tips, they gave me pointers, and also I do have a 9 to 5 job. I am a peer counselor at a mental health agency, and I talked to my supervisor, and I asked her if I can I can put down ADHD as one of my specialties, adult ADHD, and help clients who have adult ADHD and help them like cope and also incorporate some of the exercises in their daily routine. And she loved the idea. She said, "Of course you can do it." And I have been doing it. And I also did an ADHD group. I did a trial run for 4 weeks, and now I am starting it up in January, where it's going to be 6 weeks, and it's going to be longer because I did it for 4 weeks for an hour, and now it's going to be longer. It's going to be an hour and a half, and a lot of my ADHD clients are really excited about it. And also I work with them like one-on-one with ADHD, and so yeah, I am really excited. And also my goal is to do some speaking engagements, like do like some TED Talks, and also do some workshops, ADHD workshop, wellness workshops. And so like I'm really excited about this, and also talk more about like unmasking, and also like to give them to and talk more about unmasking, and how like we can be ourselves without and also like break the stigma, especially my mission is to really go through the POC and Black community, because it is still so stigmatized there, and a lot. And I've been watching like on social media, and I just like see them like mock and ridicule therapy and ADHD and mental illness, which is like not okay. And without like therapy, I would never knew that I have ADHD, and also learn how to regulate like my behaviors, and also work the tools that I have worked with to regulate like my emotions. And so and also, I just like want to let you know that you are not alone on this journey. You are seek support, educate yourself, and importantly, be kind to yourself. Embrace your uniqueness, and this is what the most highlight of having ADHD is. Like, you get to be unique, you get to be quirky, you get to be yourself. Like, once I noticed like ADHD, like we don't like to blend in the crowd. Like, we like to stand out. We like to set ourselves apart from other people. And it is, and I think it's such a really cool trait. And I, once I had ADHD, I knew that I did not want to fall in the crowd. And when I just like started like following the crowd and started like doing what everybody else is doing, like I was absolutely miserable. I did I just like felt like I was getting nowhere, and I was like people pleasing. I was I was just like trying to belong, and that was like another thing. Like, it also stems back from my adolescence and teens, that I would try to be a part of the group, and I would be so desperate and try so very hard, and it just like did not work. And I'm so glad it didn't work, because now like I am discovering myself. I discovered like what I like and what I enjoy doing without like the company of others. And also the other thing about unmasking is that I enjoy being alone. Like, I know that a lot of people don't. They think it's like so weird that you enjoy like being alone. And actually, I don't think it's weird at all, because I think like enjoying yourself, like being alone, it really discovers like who yourself and who you are, and it definitely helps with the unmasking. And so I absolutely just love it. And I just like feel like I get to do what I want to do. I don't have to answer to anybody, um and I just like think like if I'm going, and people do ask me like if I'm going to get married soon. I'm like I don't know yet. I just like that's probably like another conversation for another time. But yeah, I do get asked that question, and just like taking care of my mental and physical health, um and doing like a lot of self-care has also like been key. Like I been doing like a lot of self-care, like a couple nights ago, like I took a really nice warm bath with like candles, and it was just like amazing. And so um just like seek support, and just like seek as many opportunities as you can, and just the more you know, the more that you become knowledgeable and educated. And for um just like know that you're unique, and just like use your superpower, and just like learn how to love yourself. And also, I cannot stress this enough, like do a lot of self care. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. That is all for today. And um and see, yeah. So yeah, that's, oh god, I just like I am messing up. So with that being said, that is all for today. And just like seek support, take care of yourself, and remember, use it to your own advantage. Remember, your neurodivergent is your superpower. And I will see you next time.